Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Premier Investments and Wealth Management Financial Program. My name is Doug Wagner, and we'll talk to the three gentlemen who are sitting around the table with me here in just a matter of moments. But first, I would like for you to open up whatever browser you have near you. You've got your phone, your laptop, maybe your desktop. Heck, if you've got a Commodore 64, crank that puppy up and go to premieriwm.com. Click Get Started. Just answer a few questions. They'll provide for you a one-page Premier Vision document. Literally, it is one page. Now, there's hundreds of pages behind it if you want that, but they'll even give you a free, no-obligation consultation, a free meeting. They'll sit down with you and walk you through whether you're ready for retirement, whether you're ready to start putting money away for your children's future. Maybe you've got a home that you want to purchase in a few years, or maybe a second home. There are a lot of financial decisions that come off the predicate of, do you have a financial plan? Most Americans don't. Get yours today, premieriwm.com. Make your appointment online or call 800-383-6590. Premier Investments and Wealth Management named Forbes 2025 Best in State Wealth Management Team. Jonas Everett is a wealth advisor. He's got over 30 years of experience in the investment industry. Looking forward to talking to you again today. Jonas, how are you?
Hi, Doug. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Sitting next to me, he's a vice president of Premier Investments and Wealth Management, wealth advisor. He's the new sheriff in town, and he's also a certified exit planning advisor, or SIPC. His name is Elias Randel. Hey, Elias.
Hey, Doug.
How are you?
I'm good. Doing well. Thank you. Good to see you. Thanks for being here today.
Hey, I love being here. This is fine. You inspire and educate me, you guys. Every single one of you, including the big kahuna, Roger Abel over there. He's the president of Premier Investments and Wealth Management. He's also a wealth advisor, an accredited investment fiduciary, and a certified exit planning advisor. He's got over 22 years of experience in the investment industry. Ho, 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 Roger. How are you?
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
I'm pretty good.
Awesome. I'm ready to go. We've got a great show planned, and you got the first question. Ready?
Dial it up, bud.
Let's do it. David says, I've got a fairly large inherited IRA that I got when my mom passed last year. I got a letter stated I need to take out about $42,000 for an RMD this year. My wife and I don't really need the money right now. We're 55, plan to use most of the funds for travel and to help our grandkids pay for college in the future. Where's the smartest place to put the money until we need it? Asks David.
Good question. I think the good news for David is you already have set forth some goals and priorities. So travel is a goal and grandkids to pay for college. So if you want to help your grandkids pay for college, the most popular place would be a college savings 529 plan. Mm-hmm. You can put money into that. There's really no tax benefit to you unless you put it into your state-sponsored plan. So each state has a plan that is sponsored by a provider. So Iowa has the plan with Vanguard, and I think one with Voya. If you put it in there, you can get state of Iowa tax deduction up to a cap. So that would be a good option for grandkids. The other cool thing about that 529 plan is if they don't use it for college, you can convert up to $35,000 to a Roth IRA for them. So you can give them a phenomenal start to get going. If you're going to plan to use it for travel, I'd probably just put it in a brokerage account and buy some safe investments or put it in some type of a bank alternative. So it's just sitting there when you need it. There's really no way to delay getting the RMD. The required means you're required to take it. Yeah. One thing to keep in mind, you're likely going to have to exhaust this within 10 years. And I can extrapolate the numbers. If you have a $42,000 RMD, there's likely around $1 million or more in this account. So one thing to keep in mind, you may want to take more out even though you're not required to, depending upon where you fall in the marginal tax brackets.
Okay.
Here's why. In year 10, if you're only taking 4.2% out and you make 4.2, the account's going to stay at $1 million.
Yeah.
So if 10 years from now, you're 65. Well, now you have to have $1 million taxable distribution. Does two things to you at 65. One, it puts you in the top tax bracket of 37+%. Two, you now are going to be subject to the IRMA tax, which is massively going to increase your Medicare premiums for not 1, but 2 years.
Ooh.
So you may want to be taking more than the $42,000 out per year. Definitely sit down with an advisor and find out how much should I be taking out of this account. And I think to if you're going to do this yourself, you have to pull up marginal tax brackets. Hey, where do I fall? What tax bracket? So the 12% tax bracket is up to around 100,000. It's a little less. I'm rounding. Then it goes to the 22% bracket. Goes to 200 and some odd thousand. Those are the numbers you want to be looking at, and you might take 100,000 more than you need because you're paying 22% tax instead of 37.
Right.
That's a big difference.
Here's the important thing for you to know, though, David. What's really important is that you can do all these things that you want on your own, or you can call in professionals, because at Premier Investments in Wealth Management, they also work with tax attorneys and things like that. They've got a team approach that they can help you create what you need so that you can do what you need to have to do at the time you need to do it, so that you can maximize the income, minimize the tax penalties, and take care, because it sounds like you want to do a little bit of legacy building too with your grandkids. Let somebody else do the work. I mean, you're 55. Let's let my friends at Premier Investments in Wealth Management do it. Get in touch with them. Call 800-383-6590. They will get started on your financial plan so that you can take care of what's happening with your mother's IRA. Sorry for your loss, but boy, thank you for taking care of the next generation as well. Jonas has the next question from Kirsten, who asks, will it hurt my credit score if I pay off my car loan in the first month? I recently bought a new car and was planning to pay cash, but the dealer pushed me into doing financing instead by offering an extra $2,500 off if I did that. They told me I could pay off the loan in the first month, but I want to make sure I don't create other problems first.
Kirsten, to put it simply, it's not going to hurt your credit score, but it's not going to help your credit score. It's not going to hurt your credit score because it's going to be listed as a paid off loan on your credit report. But it's not going to help your credit score because they're looking for ultimately a series of consistent payments, and you're paying this loan off right away. I would really check and make sure that you check the fine print. If your goal is to have this car paid off, you get the first bill, you pay a check or you pay cash or a Venmo for the entire amount. Check the fine print. Make sure you don't have any penalties to do that. Ultimately, if you're worried about your credit score, just think about your payment history, your credit mix, any balances, and your length of credit history, and you should be okay. And great job getting that $2,500 knocked off, and great job paying cash for your automobile. I think ultimately, when it comes to your credit score, you have other opportunities to build your credit score just based on the payment history, credit mix, balances, and your length of credit history.
I'm going to assume, because she talks about this, probably her first car. Yeah. Okay. Recently bought a new car. So it's probably your first one. She's probably still renting, or maybe even doesn't own a home, lives with mom or dad. It's not a bad thing to work on building your credit history over time, because in order to purchase a house, unless you've got all that money saved up for it, odds are you're going to have a good credit score so you can get a lower mortgage rate.
Yeah, and we really don't know her situation.
Right.
It looks like that might be her first new car, so we don't know the other things that she has going on in her personal financial life. Ultimately, if she does seek financial advice, it may or may not be a great deal to pay cash for a car at this point.
It's more than just investing. There are a lot of things that they can work with you at Premier Investments in Wealth Management, including things like this. It's your the entire panoply of financial questions you might have. If you do have a question like Kirsten's, you can get in touch with them at premieriwm.com and just hit the contact me and enter your question there, or you can call 800-383-6590. Make an appointment with them. While you're at the website, check out the Investor's Guide series. They've got investing in chaotic times and investing closer you get to retirement, a lot of different downloadable things. Highly recommend that you take advantage of that from Premier Investments and Wealth Management, named a Forbes 2025 Best in State Wealth Management Team. Elias, your first question from Kurt. My wife received a lump sum pension payout offer. Pension, that's interesting. Do you think it makes more sense for retirees to take a monthly check or to take a lump sum offer?
Both of those options can work very well depending on goals, taxes, and income needs. So here's one of the basic differences, and then I'm just going to go through a few different ideas to think about. So a monthly check from a pension provides predictability. Once you turn that on, you know how much it's going to be, when it's going to show up. And the lump sum provides a little more flexibility. If you do a lump sum pension, provides some more flexibility and control of the asset, as long as you do the lump sum as a rollover and not as a distribution. So the right choice depends on some different factors. So the first one I wanted to talk about today was income stability. I do think there's kind of two camps of people when it comes to this. There are people who potentially are overspenders, and then people who are more responsible with their money. I think if you're offered the choice of a monthly pension benefit or a lump sum rollover, and you're someone who tends to live paycheck to paycheck and you don't have your budget dialed in, here's the good news on that pension. You can continue living paycheck to paycheck, and you don't have to worry about spending all of the money that provides that provides that pension benefit. And because we have had that before, we've had people that have done a lump sum rollover and they spent all the money in a few years. So now where's their retirement income supposed to come from? Mm-hmm. The next thing I'll bring up is, the other thing I'll mention with income stability, there are also some people who just value the income and knowing that you can't outlive the income once you turn the pension on. So let's talk about the flexibility. Flexibility with a lump sum rollover gives a family a couple things. One, if you roll it over into an IRA, it's not a taxable event. And then when you take distributions, that's when you will pay the tax on it. So when I say you have more flexibility and control, now the family has taken this asset and invested it, right? Where, let's say even a married couple, if you do a pension benefit with a survivor option, once both of you are gone, the asset is gone. So sometimes families do like the idea of, well, I want to roll over this value into my IRA because it could be a number of reasons. Most of the time, they just want to kind of own that asset in a sense, as opposed to the pension just determining the income. So it does provide that. The other considerations, life expectancy and any survivor needs. So if you start to think about overall health, family longevity, and then whether the pension provides strong survivor benefits, and most do. And what is a survivor benefit? So survivor benefit says, hey, if you take X for your life, you'll get this, you'll get X amount. If you're married and you want your spouse to receive the same amount after you pass, they'll call it a joint and survivor benefit.
Okay.
Couple other things I think to think about: inflation considerations. Pensions typically don't have any sort of inflation adjustment over time. So that's a fixed income amount throughout retirement. And then just overall taxes and timing. If you are going to do the lump sum offer, most of the time, right? Maybe I should say all of the time, you want that to be done as a rollover. You don't want to just distribute that amount of money and realize all that tax liability in 1 year. So you'd want to move it into an IRA and then manage the distributions from there.
Gotcha. Makes sense. It's something where if you have professionals on your side who are understanding of what your needs are for you and your spouse, and especially with something as complicated as this, they can help you make these decisions and put everything within the framework of a financial plan. Go to premieriwm.com. Maybe start your education. They've got a guide called 10 Critical Steps to Take Before Retirement so that you can get a better idea of an outline of what your retirement needs as far as income, lifestyle, healthcare, things like that. It's a foundation that you need in order to make a very critical decision like this, and encourage you definitely to make your appointment at Premier Investments in Wealth Management, calling 800-383-6590. Premier Investments in Wealth Management, named a Forbes 2025 Best in State Wealth Management Team. Question for the board. Jonas, I'm going to come to you first on this one. Wanda says, I've been trying to build better money habits recently. It's wild how the smallest changes sometimes make the biggest difference. For me, the biggest game changer has been making a do I need this in 48 hours rule. If I still want it after 2 days, I can buy it. Turns out I almost never still want it. My question for you all is, what are the simplest changes you have seen the biggest impact in your clients' lives? And as the master of the upside down question, that has to just warm.
I love this, Wanda. Thank you so much for doing this and asking this question. I love. If we could afford to, we'd take you on the road with us. This is just fantastic that you're giving it 2 days before you click purchase on your online orders. I would say the biggest change that I've seen people make is the 1% rule. Just ultimately, if you're looking at personal finances and you might be a little bit squeezed right now, everybody can pull off a 1% increase in their contributions. If you look at a workout, maybe if you're doing 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, you can pull off 1% on that 30 minutes and maybe do 31 minutes the next week. And I would tell Wanda, keep up the good work and maybe implement the 1% rule into your personal financial life and just do 1% more in your savings rate, everything you do.
Roger, let's go to you next. See what you're thinking about this.
Weekly savings rate instead of monthly when you think about how you do it. I think some of my best savers
That's right.
are putting money away weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Versus once a month. And it's psychological. It's the same amount of money. But if you have someone who's putting away $250 a week, it feels a lot different than $1,000 one time a month.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing smaller amounts of money. It's how I started saving. I did it weekly. I still do it weekly. People that have accumulated a lot of money, a lot of them do it weekly. And it comes back to automation. It's automatic. It's not, no one's thinking about sending it in. It's just automatic.
Right.
And then tagging to what Jonas said, do weekly, get used to it, and then gradually increase your contributions until you get to a point of a little bit of pain. You're like, man, I don't have a whole lot of extra money. And you can always dial it back a little bit, but you kind of find where your pain point is.
Yeah.
Do weekly, find your pain point, then back it off. You can even roll the weekly talk into paying off credit cards, or if you have a credit card bill. I pay my bill weekly. Guess why I do it weekly? It's a lot easier to pay it weekly than it is at the end of the month.
Yeah. It's interesting because I've got a long-term it's my car loan that's getting ready to go off the books. And I'm like, okay, what do I do with that money now? So you just gave me my ideas. I'm going to break it up into weekly.
How much is the loan payment?
Oh, it's $400. It's not a lot. It was
okay, so here's what you need to do. You need to put $100 a month or a week.
Yeah.
Into a savings account because what's going to happen to your car eventually? Oh, you're going to need a new one.
Yeah.
And then guess what you're going to have? Enough to just go pay cash for the difference on a new car.
Good point.
That was a freebie, Doug.
Freebie.
That was free.
You can switch to the good guys if you want.
There we go. All right, Elias, what's your response to this question? What's the biggest, the simplest changes you've seen make the biggest impacts in your clients' lives?
One, I'm going to touch on the value of habits. With money, you don't need to be perfect. There's really no point in setting out to be perfect. But if you can build habits and then build on those small habits, then eventually you're going to have the right mix of financial habits and behavior that equal financial success, which for most people is becoming financially independent.
Mm-hmm.
I love this 48-hour rule. I'm guessing what Wanda has found is her impulse purchases have gone down.
Yeah.
And I think one thing, I know Roger's talked about this quite a bit in the past, with bigger purchases aren't really what kind of set people back, because we're very in tune and we think a lot about bigger purchases that we make. But these small impulse purchases along the way kind of is the thing that blows up people's budget. So I really love this 48-hour rule. And how many things have anyone who doesn't have a 48 hours, she said most of the time after 40 hours, I don't want that thing anymore. So how many things have you bought and then really you didn't even really want it, but yeah, you had it. And to bring up one idea that is a little bit different than what the guys talked about, I'll say one of the simplest changes I think people can make, a lot of our clients are very dialed in on this, but having an emergency fund that's appropriately funded.
Mm-hmm.
If that habit you don't have dialed in, that's one I would focus on. I just don't know anyone that has a properly funded emergency fund and they're living paycheck to paycheck.
The 48-hour rule is a lot harder now than it used to be.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll give you a good example. And I know I've shared this story on the air before. This is probably like 08, 9, or 10. Amazon's kind of new. I'm not shopping online yet. And there was this really specific ice fishing depth finder I wanted. And it was at Shields in Iowa City. Okay. It was like $1,200. And I go down there. And at the time, let me back up. At the time, I kept all of my savings in a Capital One 360 account. So to get the money, it takes like 2 days to get the money into your account, literally. So I go to Shields and man, I really want that. Think about it. I get home, don't transfer the money. Another year clips by, still didn't get it. Took me 3 years to buy that thing. And I'd be down there multiple times. It took me 3 years. Where I think if you're able to exercise the 48-hour rule and the ability to just click it, I think that's really good. It's really hard because I am a creature of an impulse buy. Today, let's rewind 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
If that depth finder would have been on Amazon, I'd have had it the same day because it was easy to get the money, easy to access it, all those different things. So that little side savings account was always my way to force myself to do the 48-hour rule on purchases. But if you can do it on Amazon, you are doing phenomenal.
Yeah. Congratulations to you. Another thing I think as well, Juan, is, you've done some good things. What about your financial plan? And maybe it's time that you sit down with my friends at Premier Investments and Wealth Management and create a financial plan that includes an emergency fund, that includes saving on a weekly basis, the contingencies that you need in order to get yourself ready for retirement in the future. Sounds like you're fairly young. You've got a good start on things. Keep on building those better money habits, but get education, get inspiration, get influence from my friends at Premier Investments and Wealth Management by calling 800-383-6590 to make your appointment, or go to premieriwm.com. Make your appointment online today. Premier Investments in Wealth Management, named Forbes 2025 Best in State Wealth Management Team. Head over to Jonas for the next question. From Larry, who says, my wife and I are about 5 years from retirement. What changes to our investment mix should we be making now? Jonas?
Great question, Larry. I think that as you near retirement, you need to review your allocation, your investment allocation, your risk level, and you need to start creating an income strategy right now. It becomes increasingly important because 5 years is going to go by quick. You're going to determine which dollars that you need to shift right now. And ultimately, you look at having a plan, an income plan, where we call it a first dollars out income plan. And that just means that there's investments in the first few years of retirement, Doug, that are just designed for the trips and they're designed for the fun. And that way Larry's enjoying his retirement with his spouse, and he's not having to worry about what he's going to take the money out of. So it's just called the first dollars out rule. And ultimately, Larry's going to have to determine what's the best place to take the money out of. Is he going to Does he have non-taxable accounts? Should he take it out of his taxable accounts?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he has very low interest cash accounts that are making zero that he's going to take his retirement income out of. So 5 years is a great time to start this strategy. You're going to have to look at, Larry, rebalancing. Are you rebalancing on a regular basis? And then what income sources are you considering for your retirement? Are you including Social Security? Do you have a pension that we can include? Are we going to draw on your money right away, or are we going to draw Social Security and your pension first? And really, flexibility matters. That's the ultimate thing. Elias was talking about a pension rollover or taking a pension payment. It's all about flexibility, and I think that's where a financial plan comes from. It kind of shows people how flexible they can be with their finances, especially in retirement, and taking that money out. People want to know what the flexibility is in taking the money out. I don't know how many phone calls I get a week from existing customers after 30 years. I need to repave the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best place to take it out of?
Yeah.
Well, let me look at your stuff. I'll get back to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's flexibility right there, just to have and to know how to take your money out properly in retirement.
Gives you opportunity too. I mean, really, that's the thing what Roger was talking about earlier. It gives you really good opportunity as well. If you go to premieriwm.com, Larry, good idea for you is there's a guide they have, referenced it before. It's called 10 Critical Steps to Take Before Retirement. It's really what you need to start thinking about as you head toward retirement. But that does not replace the whole concept of having the financial plan they can provide for you at Premier Investments and Wealth Management. You can call today to make your appointment, 800-383-6590. Roger, I'm going to go to you with the next question from Sandy, who says she's considering switching jobs. The new company offers a simple IRA instead of a 401k. You can explain that, because she says, I've never heard of it before. Is there a disadvantage to having a simple IRA over a 401k? The job offer is better in every other way, but I don't want to make a decision that hurts my retirement.
Really good question. Sandy, first I'm going to start off and let you know your savings rate is going to determine your retirement, not the location of it.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if you save 15% in a non-retirement account or 15% in a 401k or 15% in a simple IRA. Those are just tax codes. As long as you save 15%-ish, you're probably on the right track. What is the difference? They are both retirement plans offered through employers, okay? The biggest difference is a 401k provides higher limits for contribution.
Mm-hmm.
So a 401k, you can put in $23,500. This simple, you're limited to $16,500. So let's assume Sandy is maxing out her 401k, which she may or may not be.
Okay.
In that scenario, she would contribute $16,500 to the simple,
Mm-hmm.
and the extra $7,000 she would just put into a non-retirement account that she could still buy the same investments. So from a savings rate, she'd still be the same. There is one thing that I do believe is likely a little bit better in most simple IRAs. Typically, your investment choices have more breadth, meaning there's more options in simples. A disadvantage is loans are not typically permissible in a simple IRA where they are in a 401k. We don't like clients to take loans from 401ks anyway. So we can change the negative into a positive.
Exactly.
You can't go borrow from this retirement account.
That's good.
So really the only difference is the contribution limits. Most simple IRAs now are offering the Roth option as well. I don't think I would let the type of retirement plan completely dictate this decision, or really dictate it at all.
Mm.
The only thing that might be a variable, if you were leaving an employer that had a 7 or 8% match, simple plans don't go above 3.
Yeah.
So if the match is significantly different,
Mm-hmm.
and the way to really figure it out, if we dial your plan in, we can tell you the effect on the match.
Yeah.
But let's really think about it. If the job's paying you let's say you're making $100,000,
Mm-hmm.
it pays you $5,000 a year more, so now you're making $105,000. And you're giving up a 3% company match, it's $3,000. You're still ahead. So I don't think I would let the type of retirement plan decide the job that I'm going to take if, as she said, the job offer is better in every other way.
Right.
So I don't think I would let the type of retirement plan determine if I took the job or not, especially if the job offer is better in every other way.
The importance of having not only a financial plan, but somebody with whom to share it. I mean, really, this is what happens when you come over to Premier Investments and Wealth Management. There's so many things that I know as a client that I've relied on for them for advice, because they work with thousands of people, and so they go through thousands of iterations of things, just like you went through, Sandy. So they're going to have an answer for you. Like, you may have a solution, but they're going to have a solution that may work best for you because they've gone through these things dozens of times with hundreds of people, thousands of clients over the years here at Premier Investments and Wealth Management. PremierIWM.com. Call for your appointment today at 800-383-6590. Elias, Drew wants to know, my employer just added a Roth option to our 401k. I want to start contributing some to the Roth. Does it make sense to redirect my contributions to 100% Roth, or should I have a mix of Roth and traditional? Can you really quick step back? Roth 401k, what does that mean?
So just step back and So Roth, here's the basic difference. The basic difference is tax treatment and how they are treated. So Roth accounts, you're going to pay tax today, money goes into the account, tax-free growth, tax-free distributions. Traditional accounts, or otherwise known as pre-tax accounts, money goes in, you get a tax deferral, tax deduction and a tax deferral. Money grows, tax deferred. The distributions are taxable at ordinary income rates. So both can play a role in retirement planning, and a mix of Roth and traditional contributions does offer flexibility for tax planning and retirement. So with this question, with Drew asking, would it make sense to redirect 100% of my Roth, or should I have a mix of Roth and traditional? I want to talk about practically what will happen, because I think that can then help Drew make some of these decisions. In general, I think Roth fits in almost every financial picture. But practically what will happen, if he goes from making all pre-tax contributions to all Roth contributions, his paycheck net after taxes will be less every month. So he's going to get a little bit less money on his paycheck. So that's one of the first questions they answer is, can you still cash flow positively the way you need to on a month-to-month basis to do it? If not, I'm sure there is a solution in there between either not doing any, doing some, to doing all, right? You should be able to find a sweet spot to build up both of those buckets. And I just know, here's why I'm such a big believer in Roth. We know what the future tax will be on that money. So it's a very simple way to control one of the things we can control in financial planning. What will the future tax liability be? 0. And I think there's enough arguments to be made to support that. And I think if investors really think through and understand the decisions they're making, there's absolutely people who will be in a lower tax bracket in retirement than they are while they're working. A lot of times people are very similar from an income perspective. So that's very situational and unique to every family. And the other thing I'll point out about this, if you do change your contributions, what you are putting into the account to Roth, that doesn't mean the employer will match into your Roth account. Most employers, the match goes into the pre-tax portion of the account. So that's also a consideration to know. I will say, in general, reviewing the situation, understanding if you can do it from a cash flow perspective, and then also understanding that having a mix of both will provide you more flexibility in the future. I think Drew's on the right path here. I think he's considering doing something that will be a good thing for him long term.
One of the things at Premier Investments and Wealth Management, whether it's working with the wealth advisors or talking to who's a tax professional, one way or the other, you're going to need somebody to help you with not only the investments, but review your tax situation and tax strategy, and they can help bring that to bear. Also, remind you, go to premieriwm.com. They've got a specific investor guide series that's called Rothification and Your Retirement. You can learn more about the different Roth strategies and how to deploy them within your financial plan. Again, premieriwm.com, the website for Premier Investments in Wealth Management, named to Forbes 2025 Best in State Wealth Management Team. Final question goes out to the panel. Jonas, I'm going to come to you for this one first because I know you're not going to be able to contain the abundance of good feelings that you will have when you hear the opening. Liza says, I just finished fully funding a 6-month emergency fund. I have no debt. I'm saving 15% of my income in my 401k. Should I keep saving my extra cash flow in the bank and continue building my emergency fund, or where is the best place to redirect it? To the man who's got not 1, not 2, but 5 spare tires in his vehicle because he believes so much in spare tires.
Ho, 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 Lisa. I feel like Santa Claus just after eating a bunch of warm chocolate chip cookies and a gallon of milk. I feel so warm and delighted that you're on the right track here. And I would say simply keep up the good work. Everybody has, we talked about this earlier, Doug, everybody has that same dollar amount bias when they get done with a financial goal. Yours is a $400 auto payment that you're going to redirect. Lisa has an opportunity with this emergency fund payment that she's been sticking away. And I would like to see her explore Eli's favorite instrument first, maybe a Roth contribution. Maybe she opens up a brokerage account. Ultimately, there has to be a financial plan done first. That's what we recommend.
Yeah.
But take that same dollar amount. You have a bias. You have a strength for it right now. To redirect that to help you better your situation in the future.
Elias, or Eli, as he said. What do you think?
Well, I think I have not met very many people, probably zero, that do all the things this listener's doing correctly, and we're not successful with their money. So she's in a very strong position here, building a great foundation. There's almost, if you keep on this path, I don't even know, because we don't know account values. We don't really know a whole lot of information. Based off of what I do know, I think it's going to work. I'll at least say that. So great job building the strong foundation. And I like Jonas's ideas of different account choices. Maybe start building up, do a Roth contribution every year, maybe a brokerage account. Here's one to ask. Is there anything you want to save for and have some fun? Like, is there a vacation you want to do? Or are you going to need a new vehicle in the next couple of years? I know she doesn't have any debt, so typically people that have no debt, it's a high priority to never have debt again. So that's a few things I would want to know is, when is your vehicle going to need to be replaced? Is she renting or does she own a home? Is she looking at doing any of that? And I don't think she's going to have any problem accomplishing any short-term, medium-term, or long-term goals, just with the basic information I have here.
I'm going to finish up with Roger. I mean, there's like so much here. The one thing that's missing, I think, that everybody's brought up.
I got it.
Yeah.
Everything they said is great, but you should celebrate your success. It's a pretty good goal. Like, a lot of people would like to be debt free.
Yeah.
6 months in the bank and 15%. You should just step back, celebrate what you've done, congratulate yourself. That doesn't mean go do something silly, but maybe treat yourself to a nice dinner. Or just do something to celebrate it. I think in life.
Should she get a gold star? Like, if she does
I'm giving her one. She got the
like
premier
how in
gold
elementary
star.
school you
Don't
get a
give
star on the chart.
Don't give Mickey Mouse your Roth IRA.
Yeah, exactly.
He's still got my credit card.
How about you celebrate with a financial plan? Because she's got a lot of the elements there, but they don't hear the financial. Celebrate
Wow,
with
that
the
sounds
financial.
like
Very
such
good,
a good way to
yeah.
celebrate.
It is. Do you think
do-
about it? That's
go
getting
do some-
right in her idiom.
I
She's
like the
already
spin,
accomplished.
but I mean, but it's humans. I think in today's fast-paced society, we do a poor job of celebrating
Yeah.
when we've accomplished something good. I do a bad job of it. I don't know if you guys do, but you do something really good. I don't ever celebrate a win. I just keep trucking on, and I think such a fast-paced environment that it's just on to the next thing. Just take a breath, say what I did was pretty cool. So congratulations, Liza.
Yeah. I made it out of bed today and I celebrated with a mimosa. So it was like,
I did that 5 days in a row on the cruise.
oh, okay, there you go.
You're allowed to bring 2 bottles of wine.
Oh, really?
Or
Okay.
a 6-pack of beer each. So we brought 4 bottles of
Nice.
champagne. And
Champagne.
just ordered 10 glasses of orange juice every morning.
There you go. That works. You're like, what? This
Room
family-
service, 10 glasses of orange juice.
Family
These
really
guys
doesn't want to
love
have a
it.
cold when they leave,
Yeah,
do
these
they?
guys are never getting sick.
Doug, you've taken the term cup of kindness for the holidays to a new level, my friend.
I got it. Hey, you know what? This is the fun thing is that the conversations that I have with them can be the same conversations you have as well, because they are just as amicable with us off the camera as they are on the camera. And you know what? They're just the nicest people. Front office, back. You think these guys are good looking? Wait till you see the back office people. They're even better looking than them. Premier Investments and Wealth Management. Go to premieriwm.com. Click Get Started. Answer a few questions. They'll provide for you a 1-page Premier Vision document and a no-obligation free meeting to go over the document. They'll even give you the document afterward. If you're like me, you're going to say, you know what? I think I want to become a client. I think I want to be with these folks because they care about my financial future. And they want to help you make something that's just for you, not a cookie cutter, not a rule of thumb. This is yours. It doesn't matter whether it's Liza, whether it's David, or if it's Kirsten, or if it's Kurt, or it's Larry, or Sandy. Any one of you, you got your own financial plan. They want to help you find it at Premier Investments and Wealth Management. Website again, premieriwm.com, or call 800-383-6590. My name is Doug Wagner for Roger Abel, for Jonas Everett, for Elias Randel. Thank you very much for watching and listening. We'll see you again soon.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC. The opinions voiced in this show are for general information purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial or tax advisor prior to investing. Premier Investments and Wealth Management and LPL Financial do not provide specific individualized tax or legal advice. We suggest that you discuss your specific situation with a qualified tax or legal advisor. Rebalancing a portfolio may cause investors to incur tax liabilities and/or transaction costs, and does not assure a profit or protect against loss. Economic forecasts set forth may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that strategies promoted will be successful. All performance referenced is historical and is not a guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and cannot be invested into directly. There is no assurance that the techniques and strategies discussed are suitable for all investors or will yield positive outcomes. The purchase of certain securities may be required to affect some of the strategies. Investing involves risks, including possible loss of principal. There is no guarantee that a diversified portfolio will enhance overall returns or outperform a non-diversified portfolio. Diversification does not protect against market risk. Contributions to a traditional IRA may be tax deductible in the contribution year, with current income tax due at withdrawal. Withdrawals prior to age 59.5 may result in a 10% IRS penalty tax in addition to current income tax. A Roth IRA offers tax deferral on any earnings in the account. Qualified withdrawals of earnings from the account are tax-free. Withdrawals of earnings prior to age 59.5 or prior to the account being open for 5 years, whichever is later, may result in a 10% IRS penalty tax. Limitations and restrictions may apply. Traditional IRA account owners have considerations to make before performing a Roth IRA conversion. These primarily include income tax consequences on the converted amount in the year of conversion, withdrawal limitations from a Roth IRA, and income limitations for future contributions to a Roth IRA. In addition, if you are required to take a required minimum distribution, RMD, in the year you convert, you must do so before converting to a Roth IRA. A plan participant leaving an employer typically has 4 options and may engage in a combination of these options, each choice offering advantages and disadvantages. Those options include leave the money in their former employer's plan if permitted, roll over the assets to their new employer's plan if one is available, and rollovers are permitted, roll over to an IRA, or cash out the account value. Prior to investing in a 529 plan, investors should consider whether the investor's or designated beneficiary's home state offers any state tax or other state benefits such as financial aid, scholarship funds, and protection from creditors that are only available for investments in such state's qualified tuition program. Withdrawals used for qualified expenses are federally tax-free. Tax treatment at the state level may vary. Please consult with your tax advisor before investing. Forbes' Best in State Wealth Management Teams ranking was developed by Shook Research and is based on in-person, virtual, and telephone due diligence meetings and a ranking algorithm that includes a measure of each team's best practices, client retention, industry experience, review of compliance records, firm nominations, and quantitative criteria, including assets under management and revenue generated for their firm. Investment performance is not a criterion because client objectives and risk tolerances vary, and advisors rarely have audited performance reports. Shook's research and rankings provide opinions intended to help investors choose the right financial advisor and team, and are not indicative of future performance or representative of any one client's experience. Past performance is not an indication of future results. Neither Forbes nor Shook Research receive compensation in exchange for placement on the ranking. For more information, please see www.shookresearch.com. Shook is a registered trademark of Shook Research, LLC.